Welcome back, students. Today we'll start with transportation in plants. We've already covered nutrition and respiration in plants. For respiration, plants need food and oxygen. Food it gets from photosynthesis, and oxygen, well, that too it gets from photosynthesis during day, at night from air. So now to photosynthesis. Sunlight, chlorophyll, water and mineral nutrients are required for photosynthesis. So sunlight and chlorophyll you already know. We'll discuss water and minerals here. These two things come from soil, but photosynthesis takes place in leaves. So water and minerals from soil have to be transported to leaves. Then once the food is made in leaves, it needs to be transported again. So basically, plant needs to transport two things, water and food, and two transport systems are required. These two are completely independent from each other. Water transported from roots to leaves. Along with water are also transported minerals in the same direction. This is done by a xylem. Food is transported from leaf to all parts of plant, and this is done by phloem. Now in plants, energy requirement is not much since the organs are simpler and they do not move. So even a slow transport process will do. In class 9 we studied about osmosis, in which water moves along concentration gradient. This does not require energy, it is a passive process and a slow one. So if the plant is small, this will do. Osmosis will transport water to the tip of small plant. But what about tall trees? Here, is osmosis or diffusion sufficient to push the water all the way to the top of these trees? You can well imagine, no. Some other forces are required. So our learning goals for this class are to find out about the conducting tissues in plants, study how transport of water and food occurs in plants, and finally get some information about the forces involved. Xylem, or the water conducting tissue, is made of four components. Remember, tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. Out of these, only two are directly involved in water transport, tracheids and vessels. These two together form a continuous channel from root to stem and to all parts of plant. Now the root with root hairs are in the soil. The soil has a very high concentration of mineral ions. So plant root take in these mineral ions through active transport. They use energy to force these ions inside the root cells. Once inside, they make the root cells hypertonic, that is at higher concentration than the soil. Outside, the soil has more water, so low concentration or dilute solution. So now water will move from outside to inside, and the tree gets the water without spending any energy. That is along concentration gradient. This is passive transport and it occurs continuously. Water is taken up continuously by this process. The pressure of water is not sufficient to push the water up tall trees. So how does tree manage to push it up? It doesn't. Instead of pushing it from the bottom, it pulls it up from the top. You recall this image? This is stomata present on leaves. Now when there is water in guard cells, stomata opens. When the stomata opens, there is transpiration, that is water is lost. Now this water comes from guard cells. So guard cells now have less water. Where will they get water from? To compensate for their loss, from the next adjacent cell, which will get water from the next adjacent cell. So everyone is borrowing from next door. and this chain of losing and borrowing continues till xylem. This creates a suction force and pulls up the water to the leaves. The pull is being created due to transpiration, so it is known as transpiration pull. So the two forces behind water transport are transpiration pull, pulling the water from the top, and root pressure, pushing the water from the bottom. About transport of food, the following points need to be remembered. Food transport occurs through phloem, specifically sieve tubes. It is multidirectional from leaves to storage organs. The storage organs can be fruits, roots, stem, even leaves, depending on which plant we are talking about. It also sends food to the growing regions, the elongating stem or the buds or the flowers, depending on the season. Phloem also transports amino acids along with food. And finally, this transport of food through phloem is known as translocation. Sugars are being made in the leaves. They are loaded into the phloem. This is done by active transport. So energy is spent. The sugar then creates a hypertonic condition in the phloem. As a result, water from the adjacent xylem rushes into the phloem. The pressure caused by this water leads to a force. This force causes mass movement of sugar towards storage organs. Depending on need of plant, this food can also be transported to growing stems or to buds in the flowering season. With this, we come to the end of this topic. Let's try to solve these questions and check our understanding. Good luck and bye-bye.